Right now, the community day for the Harry Whitehorse International Wood Sculpture Festival took place in Monona.
And we continue to track the chance for severe thunderstorms as well as heavy rain as we head overnight Saturday into Sunday, the latest and what we can expect for the rest of the weekend in the full forecast.
And we take you to all these sights and sounds of Africa Fest. Welcome to News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We'll get to all those stories in just a sec, but let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, an alert day. We've had alerts, warnings, so much going on across southeastern Wisconsin and south central Wisconsin. What should we expect heading into the night?
We're going to continue to primarily now see a heavy rain event. We'll still monitor the situation with these storms for some strong wind gusts, some small hail like what they're seeing out in Platteville. But for now, we're sitting underneath a stationary front yet again, and that means that showers and thunderstorms are likely going to continue to develop along that and essentially rain themselves out as they slowly move off towards the east. We're sitting underneath 2 inches of precipitable water, so a very moist air mass overhead. Let's take it into some of these showers and thunderstorms making our way from western Wisconsin back east. Into Crawford County we go. This is where more of that shower and thunderstorm activity is a little bit more concentrated, extending from northeastern Iowa all the way back into Haney, Richwood as well, south into Grant County. Again, that's where we are seeing a little bit of some hail. Emergency management reporting at least nickel-sized hail falling across parts of Grant County. That would be mainly around Rockville, just to the north and west of Cornelia, looking like maybe 1.5 inches in diameter hail possibly falling in that area just to the south of Lancaster. We'll go back to satellite and radar and take you continuing off towards the east, also towards Shullsburg, another heavier shower and thunderstorm. A bit of a break in this line once we get into Dane County, but stretching from Sauk City all the way back into Fort Atkinson and further east into parts of the Milwaukee area. That is where we continue to see showers and thunderstorms, but again, it's a little bit more broken up. Now, I want to take us back to Grant County because this shower and particularly this thunderstorm has not moved very far over the last several hours, and we're seeing again estimated rainfall totals of maybe 3.5 inches to 4 inches of rain. Where we find these purples, that's where we're getting into that 1.5 inch mark to 2.5 inches. So we continue to sit underneath a flood watch through 10 a.m. on Sunday because we are likely transitioning from that severe weather threat to a heavy rain event, much like we saw last weekend. So folks at home, we are going to take a look at when this rain will finally end and how much more rain we could pick up before the rain ends, coming up in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. And as we continue to see heavy rain throughout this evening and heavy rain events occur throughout the state, here's just a few tips when it comes to flooding. As always, you can buy flood insurance to protect your property and belongings. Prepare a disaster supply kit. During a flood, do not drive around a barricade. Barricades are there for your protection. And when there is a potential flooding warning in your area, listen to the radio or local television for information. And after a flood, report any broken utility lines to the proper authorities. New tonight, 5 former Wisconsin women's basketball players are filing a lawsuit against former coach Marissa Mosley over an accusation of psychological abuse. Mosley became coach of the UW women's basketball team in 2021. Within her first 3 years, at least 11 players either left the program or transferred to another school. Some of them cite alleged mistreatment by Mosley as part of why they left. Mosley left after last season citing personal issues and has since been replaced. News 3 Now has reached out to the university for comment. Cleanup efforts continue after a train derailment in Dodge County on Friday. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office said all rail cars there were leaking fluid that have now been contained, and the cars that were breached have been plugged. The Sheriff's Office said multiple resources have been deployed, but there is no estimated time for when the tracks will reopen. Environmental and hazardous materials teams from Canadian Pacific remain on site and will continue to monitor the derailed cars and resume the investigation. Africa Fest kicked off earlier today. Our Tanisha Shaw brings you all the sights and sounds from the event despite all the rain.
Organizers dedicated a lot of time to plan Africa Fest.
A way for us to show our culture to the African community, to the greater Madison community. People come from all over, from Oshkosh, Milwaukee, even as far as Chicago, to attend our festival.
I'm here today with my brothers and sisters from different countries and from around the world. I feel like I just fit in. I feel at home.
Weekend storms delayed their original plans, but it didn't cancel them.
We are just going to enjoy ourselves. You can see that we are all together. The best part of the festival is for you to see all the people that you don't usually see often.
People are getting to meet new people, which is part of the culture of the festival itself.
And the weather is impacting a really big day for Africa Fest as they are celebrating 25 festivals in Madison.
Becoming bigger and bigger and better since the first time we did this in 1998.
Eventually, the rain did clear out and Africa Fest is able to go on as planned, but one thing remained the same before, during, and after the storm. Everyone is so excited to learn, celebrate, and embrace African culture.
Even though it started to rain, people didn't leave. They stuck around. So that says a lot.
Even though some may see the rain as a downside, others say it's a silver lining.
I feel like the rain is a good sign of the ancestors clearing the path so we can have the rest of the beautiful afternoon. So it's like a libation kind of thing to me, so I'm enjoying the rain.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Africa Fest also had live performances, vendors, and a fashion show. The festival wraps up, or just wrapped up tonight at 10. Over 100 local artists were at the Agora Art Fair in Fitchburg earlier today. The celebration began 17 years ago and attracts artists back every single year. The event celebrates every type of art, no matter the medium. There was live music, kids' activities, as well as a wine and beer garden. Performances throughout the day also celebrated Latin culture. Ceramics artist Andrew Linderman says today allows for connection between both artists and fairgoers.
Art fairs in general, there's a lot of camaraderie between all the artists, and everybody's here to help everybody else do a good job today. And then it's a lot of fun to talk to all the customers that come through and interact with people face to face as opposed to selling something online and shipping it off. It's really great to have those in-person conversations.
This year, the fair also brought back Art in the Wind, an impressive kite display. The community day for the Harry Whitehorse International Wood Sculpture Festival took place in Monona. The event featured live wood sculpting, Ho-Chunk cultural demonstrations, and traditional crafts. Our Elia Liberté shows us how the event celebrates art and culture.
This is the community day for the Harry Whitehorse International Wood Sculpting Festival. We're celebrating the heritage. I'm Ho-Chunk. Harry Whitehorse was Ho-Chunk. Most of the people that are involved in the indigenous side of the preparation for this just happen to be Ho-Chunk. We have food trucks, we have indigenous artists, and most importantly, we have our sculptors. And we have today 4 of them, or 3 or 4 of them, doing a demonstration.
As long as I'm alive, as long as I'm carving, I'm going to keep trying to do this. Harry was my mentor. It's an international cultural and community exchange, which again doesn't happen at the normal events that happen here.
And this was the area where Minnie Whitewing and her family had their homestead. And this also happens to be an area that for, hundreds and thousands of years, Ho-Chunks would get together, kind of in this area where, I guess where I'm standing and behind me. It's a real privilege to share your culture and your experience, whether you're indigenous or whether you're German or Norwegian or whatever the case may be. We just happen to have a lot of really talented indigenous artists here from the Little Eagle Arts Foundation.
Today's event is also an effort to build momentum towards a 9-day festival returning in 2026. For more information, you can go to harrywhitehorse.com. WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin have completed a major upgrade to their over-the-air broadcasting system with the installation of 2 new transmitters. The improvements are designed to provide antenna viewers with a better signal and a clearer picture to the viewing area. Because of the change, if you're an antenna user, you'll need to rescan your TV on Wednesday. To get a stronger, clearer picture, the process is fast and free. Just open the menu to your TV and select Settings, then Channel Scan, or for some, it may be listed as Auto Tune. And in just a few minutes, the TV's channel list will be updated to match the new signal. This upgrade enhances our over-the-air reception for local viewers. Remember, you'll need to do this next Wednesday. For those step-by-step rescanning instructions, visit channel3000.com/rescan. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast. Plus, thousands hit the streets across the Lone Star State to protest the GOP plan to redraw congressional maps.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
In Texas, thousands hit the streets across the Lone Star State to protest the GOP plan to redraw congressional maps, adding 5 Republican seats to the U.S. House. The controversial move is sparking talk in other states, including California, about possible redistricting changes to maps. CBS News' Manuel Boyorquez is in Dallas.
They called these Fight the Trump Takeover rallies in several cities across the country. Here in Dallas, to Austin, to Los Angeles, they protested plans by Texas at the request of President Trump to redraw its congressional maps.
Don't mess with Texas. Don't mess with our districts.
Protesters object to the plan that could give Republicans 5 more seats in Congress ahead of next year's midterm elections. What's your message today?
Our message is that when our rights are under attack, we have to stand up and fight back.
Then there will be a check on their lawlessness. There will be accountability for their crimes.
The House will come to order.
But the state's Republican majority is now poised to make it happen, opening a second special session.
Texans stay and fight. In this case, you have a bunch of cowards who cut and run.
Democrats who left the state to prevent a vote have said they will return. Now the California governor, Gavin Newsom, said voters there will decide on a redistricting measure that could counter the Texas GOP gains.
We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire.
It's not clear exactly when all Texas Democrats will return to the state, but as long as there are 100 lawmakers available for a vote, which is quorum in the Texas House, the bill is expected to pass. Manuel Boyorquez, CBS News, Dallas.
A federal judge has blocked the Federal Trade Commission's investigation of a liberal advocacy group. The FTC launched the investigation into Media Matters for America earlier this spring. The group is known for its campaigns against Rupert Murdoch's Fox News and Elon Musk's social media platform, X. The FTC said it was probing possible collusion. Media Matters sued the agency, claiming the investigation was retribution. In her ruling, the judge cited evidence that the investigation was an act of retaliation and granted the preliminary injunction. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we're going to continue to track those showers and thunderstorms that have redeveloped throughout the rest of the evening into the morning hours on Sunday. Heavy rain is going to be the primary threat tonight. Can't rule out some small hail as well as some localized gusty winds. But again, primarily we're looking at another heavy rain setup. We dry out by the middle of next week after showers and thunderstorms primarily hang out during the morning hours across western parts of Wisconsin throughout Sunday. So here's a look over the last 3 hours, particularly in southern parts of Grant County. Very slow moving showers and thunderstorms, all forming very close to this stationary front. You can see that a lot of that heavier rain activity is stretching from Decorah all the way back into northern parts of Iowa County, right along the Wisconsin River. Not as heavy rain off towards the east from about Dane County eastward, which is some good news. But this is an area that also dealt with some of that flooding last weekend. But right now we'll take it into southern parts of Grant County, where over just the last 3 hours, and if I were to resample this, I'm sure we get even higher estimates outside of Platteville, but anywhere between 2.5 to over 3 inches of rain has estimated to have fallen just within the last 3 hours. National Weather Service chat talking about rainfall rates anywhere between 1.25 to 1.5 inches per hour. So as these storms, particularly off into parts of Crawford and Grant County, as well as in Richland and northern parts of Iowa County, slowly move, we're looking at rainfall of 1 inch to 2 inches per hour in a very saturated air mass. Over the last 24 hours, this is where our activity was this morning. So this part of the atmosphere has been well worked over. Still saturated, but there's not a whole lot of energy. This is the area that hasn't really been touched at all with those multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. So that is where we're likely going to see a lot more of that heavier rain activity this evening, which is why our excessive rainfall forecast for tonight into Sunday is moderate. So again, with reports of 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour, we could be looking at another minor, at the very least, flooding threat for southern Wisconsin. Once those showers and thunderstorms wrap up across southwestern parts of the state come, I would say, the mid to late morning hours on Sunday, we'll likely stay mostly cloudy for the rest of Sunday. So a little bit of some drying out, but then more rain moves in as we kick off Monday as yet another round of activity is pulled out of the Dakotas and Minnesota and moved in overhead. 60s tonight and 70s, another hot and humid evening. Again, we're sitting underneath an atmosphere that has about 2 to maybe 2.5 inches of precipitable water overhead. So again, that's if we just completely wrung out the atmosphere, how much water would we get? And that's in the order of 2 to maybe 2.5 inches of rain. Another rainmaker, Hurricane Erin. She has been downgraded from a Category 5 to now a Category 4. She'll likely re-strengthen as waters out in the Atlantic are fairly warm. But again, her latest cone of uncertainty keeps her away from the East Coast, but certainly folks along the Carolinas will likely be dealing with some higher surf, maybe some windy conditions, but not in the order of anything that would be brought in by a hurricane making landfall. So that is some good news with Erin. Back at home, we're going to be dealing with showers and thunderstorms through at least Monday night into the start of Tuesday, but then high pressure moves on in, clears us out, brings down some cooler, more comfortable air, drier air as well. But folks, we could be once again dealing with a little bit of haze because this is coming out of Canada. So just be prepared for that. But at least we will not be hot and humid, maybe low 70s by not this coming up Monday, but that following Monday.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to those temps. And thankfully, Erin won't be making landfall. I know that there's parts of the country still recovering from the hurricanes that they battled last summer.
And again, a quick note for folks at home, if you don't already have the First Warned Weather app, please download that. That will give you any and all flood-related alerts since this is going to be happening overnight. And the last thing we want is you to be caught in a compromised position. And if you haven't done so already, maybe break out the sub pumps, clear out some of the drains nearby the house so that that water can go into the drain instead of standing in, of course. Never cross a flooded area. Turn around. Don't drown.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Coming up in sports, the Brewers go to extras as they try to win their 14th straight game, aiming for a franchise record. The Brewers have been on an absolute tear this summer, winning 13 straight games, and they're looking to get their 14th straight against the Reds today. We head to the ninth. Sal Frelick grounds into a double play, but Ellie De La Cruz's throw to first is off the mark, bringing in Bryce Terang, tying up the game 2 apiece. That would send us to extras to the top of the 11th now. Andrew Monasterio smashes a 3-run homer to left off of Joe La Rosa. Brewers go up 6-3, and that's all they would need to hold on to the lead. Crew win a franchise record 14th straight game, 6-5 is your final. The Packers are in Indianapolis today looking to bounce back after a not-so-hot start last week in preseason against the New York Jets. To the second half now, packed down 10. Packers driving, and Israel Abanikanda punches it in from 3 yards out. The Pack cut the lead to 3. Now to the fourth quarter. And last week's standout, Amar Johnson, finds the end zone for the second time this preseason, stumbling, bubbling, and the fellas push him in for another rushing touchdown for the Pack. That would tie the game 16 apiece. And then later in the fourth, with just about a minute and a half, third-year quarterback Sean Clifford uses his legs to get into the end zone to take the lead. And that's all they would need. The Packers win it 23-19 is your final. The Badgers open up their season at home against Miami of Ohio in just a couple weeks, meaning fall camp is wrapping up. News 3 Now Sports Director Andrew Banstra brings us how the Badgers football team is locked in and headed into the on-season mode.
After 2 weeks in Platteville and 1 week back here in Madison, Wisconsin football waved goodbye to fall camp today with an intra-squad scrimmage. It's the last time that we'll see the Badgers before their season opener as they transition from fall camp to full-on season mode.
But this kind of signals where we were wanting to be at the end of camp. You know, have a little scrimmage, have the opportunity for guys to go some live action, and we got all that done today. And you know, it was a good challenge. I'm excited to go watch and see what kind of guys stepped up, and then what kind of guys, when it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit liver, you know, tighten up a little bit.
The Badgers' struggles over the last 2 seasons are well documented, but heading into a make-or-break third season, Luke Fickell likes the way his team looks.
I mean, I think there's some depth in who we are and what we are that's a little stronger than it has been, and I think for us, that's a really important factor. How good are we? We got to go out and play and see. There's still a lot to be done, but as far as the nature of where we are as a program and a team, and you know, this complementary group, I don't know if we could be further along.
The countdown to the commencement of Wisconsin football season continues, and the players tell me they just can't wait to get started, and neither can we. That's why we're hosting a Badger special before Wisconsin's season opener on Thursday, August 28th, that will air right here on News 3 Now at 6:30 with Eric Franke and myself getting you ready for game day. For now at Camp Randall Stadium, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
Andrew, thank you. New at 10, Madison's women's soccer team will finally take the field next year. It puts an end to a 3-year wait after the team was initially announced. Forward FC Chief Operating Officer and partner Connor Kaloya comments this day is long overdue in Madison. Our ownership group is excited to bring women's soccer to this great women's sports city. As the dad of a girl playing soccer, we take pride in the fact that we will be creating a step in the pathway to becoming a professional soccer player in Madison. Play will begin next May in the USLW League. Now that's it for sports. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return.
Showers and thunderstorms persist overnight through the morning hours on Sunday. Then we're left with cloudy conditions before more rain moves in on Monday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Blaise Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow.